Good morning and welcome to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are doing tie rods and all that is involved with the tie rods on this 2001 Triton V10 6.8 liter F250 Super Duty. Tie rods. This is a solid axle truck. Tie rods are very different on an independent front suspension truck, IFS, or car, or anything else. So that's why you see these long boxes. Usually you're gonna have a couple boxes about that size. You're gonna have an outer tie rod, which is about that size, and an inner tie rod that's about that size, and that's all, give or take on the vehicle. But on a solid axle, also known as live axle, we have tie rods that extend the entire width of the vehicle from tire to tire. So, I'm not going to post all these numbers, part numbers on the screen because I'm going to link them down below. So if you're doing this job, you don't even have to remove the tires. That easy, okay? Kind of like my little brother's F150 that we just did. Check out that video. This is independent front suspension, but we didn't even have to remove the tires. We did for the video. This is the same way. We don't need to remove the tires, but we will for the video so I can get you guys in there and me and my tools and the new parts and the old parts all at the same time. So it's a super easy job. Can you do this in your garage? I believe you can. Can you do your own alignment after this? Probably not. Should you do an alignment after this job? Absolutely, 100% yes. Do an alignment. You can't reasonably do this project, any tie rod project, without getting an alignment. Go where they have a $20,000 machine and let the machine do the alignment, okay? That's my personal advice. I am not a mechanic. I have no professional experience. I have no professional training. I have no anything related to vehicles except what I have taught myself by reading service manuals, watching YouTube like you are, and actually just getting in there and doing it. That is my #1 favorite way of learning, is getting in there and doing it. So I offer no guarantees when you do your project that it's going to work out like mine did. My projects almost always work out, but that's because I'm sheerly determined to get this on the road again before I have to go to work. So I'm semi-mechanically hands-on inclined, whatever you want to call it. I suck at book tests. Just look at any of my grades. But I get my hands on there and it's a different story. So proceed at your own risk is what I'm saying. So, should we get started? Let's get started. You probably don't actually need to remove the tires, but for access, I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Plus, if you don't have a lift, it'll be much easier just to remove your tires. Make sure you do so safely. Remove all 16 lug nuts, 8 on each tire, of course. And starting with your pitman arm joint, you're going to go ahead and remove the cotter pin and then remove the castle nut. I don't know what I'm talking about. After you pop those out with your pickle fork, you can move on over to your driver's side tie rod, or we're taking apart all 3 joints. You can do it in whatever order you please. If you shock load the sides of the knuckle, sometimes it'll help you to pop that ball joint stud off. But like as you saw, you can use your little sledgehammer and just pop it up from underneath the stud if you need to. That might not be the best option if you are planning on reusing these, but we're replacing this whole system. So for that bar right there in my left hand, that you could take out now, because we're replacing the entire system, there's no point, so I did not. That's all there is to it to getting it out. 3 bolts. Now we're going to go ahead and assemble our new pieces. Now, keeping in mind I am not a mechanic, nor professional, nor experienced. I did this extremely ghetto style. I just kind of eyeballed my measurements. As you'll see, this is probably almost guaranteed not the best way to do it, but I kind of just eyeballed. My eyeball's actually pretty dang good, because when I did go to the alignment shop, it was just a little bit out of alignment. I mean, it was red, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I expected. Alright, so putting it on goes the exact same way you took it off. Just pop her on, get your castle nuts, torque them to your manufacturer specifications, and then push just a little bit further till you can line up the hole to get the cotter pin all the way through. And then you're going to put your grease zerk fittings up on top. I got greasable fittings because, I don't know, I just like knowing that they're greased. The permanent or never grease or whatever you want to call them, sometimes I like them. I put them on some of my vehicles, but for this truck I wanted to be able to flush out dirt and debris by adding new grease. So put your cotter pin in, bend it around, make it look as professional as you can, and then we can go back up to the pitman arm, and voila. Notice the couplings for the alignment are not tight at this point. We're going to take care of that here in a little bit. So this one right here, this actually controls or isn't for your alignment, it's more for your steering wheel. If your steering wheel is off-centered, you can just twist that around and it'll spin your steering wheel around. It pushes the pitman arm over. Fill up them boots with some grease. Note that there is a little bleeder on most boots that'll show you when you're full. And go ahead and remove yourself from the jack stands. Pretty simple, guys. Make sure you go in for an alignment. Well, guys, that's it. That's all we got to do. Just change the tie rods on this 2001 Ford F250 V10 6.8 liter 4x4 Super Duty white. Oh yeah, it's an XLT. So it's pretty easy. There's not really a whole lot to it. I'd actually even venture to say it's easier than an IFS vehicle, independent front suspension. Depending on the IFS vehicle, some of them, the inner tie rods are kind of buried up in there and a pain in the butt to get to, not to mention the dust boot. Another reason I like live axle, there's no dust boots on this thing like anywhere except the shocks. So yeah, super easy. You do have to go get an alignment. Do not get an alignment. Go for an alignment. I have this thing to where it visually looks good, but that don't mean it's good. So they have $20,000 laser machines they can use. Let them use it. You pay your $100 or whatever it's going to be. So yeah, not bad. If you liked what you see, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, whichever way it is. And stay tuned. I got plenty more videos coming up and plenty more already on the channel. Check out my channel. For those of you that have been asking how to support me, there is now a PayPal link on every video in the description. Just in case you're curious what I'm doing here. So I've had a 33-inch tire as a spare in the back, and it fits under the bed. It sticks out like down quite a ways, but it fits round-wise, width-wise, whatever. So I ordered this Ironman all-country mud terrain 35-inch to be my spare. It's the same size as what's on here. Will this fit under the bed? I don't know, but stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button so you can see when I find out whether it does or not. I don't know if we're gonna have to modify something. I don't know if it's not even going to be worth it, but we're gonna give it a try. So heck yeah, guys.